I'm going to be chopping and channeling to get a message. So this message has to do with taking the time. For example, when you're cooking and you really take the extra time and you are intentional with what you do, not only is it going to turn out better because you're not probably going to make any mistakes, but also it's just going to taste better. There's something about that intention that you put behind something. Like when people say they can tell something was baked with love, that intention, it's almost like a signature. Everyone has their own unique signature. So two people could make the same exact meal, but put completely different signatures into it and get a completely different result energetically. Even if it tastes the same on some level, it'll still feel different. And it's about the nuances and the things that maybe words can't describe, but it's felt either way. You've been guided to be very intentional in this way with everything you do, even the smallest, most mundane task. At first, that could have frustrated you. You could have felt like you're being forced to do it, but you realized, or maybe this is helping you realize, that the intention you put behind something when you do take the time, that's what really makes the difference. So I get that the next phase of your life, or even possibly the rest of your life, is supposed to be a lot more intentional, and you're supposed to be aware of the intention you're putting behind something. That's why you've been going through all of this training that's forced you to slow down as much as you wanted to rush forward, and you could have felt held back in certain areas that you felt totally ready for, and you just didn't know why they weren't coming yet because you felt completely ready. But the missing piece here was that you need to be a little bit more intentional. And as you do that, you'll start to realize it's not so bad, it's not so painful, and you start to appreciate your power of intention. And maybe that's the whole point of the message. It's all about your power of intention. And if you're not aware of it, how do you become aware of it without practice? So the less impatient you find yourself when having to do these little things that Spirit has forced you to slow down for, the more you can be present. You're gonna realize you asked for this. You asked for this at some point in your life when you felt like you were just chasing one thing after the next. And when you got that, you were already planning the next thing, and you never were present, and you recognized this, and you recognized that you wanted to be present. And in some way, you sent out the request to help you with that. And this is Spirit's answer, this preparation. So if you can relate to this message and you notice that you have been more intentional and that you know you've been guided to do that and you've been practicing that, then this is your sign that you listened well to the guidance, which was only meant to help you in the first place. This is also your sign that the things you've learned in this process of having to slow down and be intentional, the gifts you learned you are not aware of yet, but you will be. They will all unfold and kind of, they're like seeds that were planted that are gonna sprout at just the perfect time for you. This is like the closure, and by that I mean kind of like the curtain closing, like the last, it's the ending of this cycle of having to be slowed down and take such time. And as the momentum picks up now that you've learned how to be slow and intentional, you will stay intentional. And before, the speed would have thrown you off, or it would have been too fast for you to keep up with, and you would have ended up losing what you had. But this way, you can keep it all as the momentum grows, as the speed grows. My eyes are burning. As the speed grows, you'll be able to keep the momentum up, okay? See if there's any more messages. Also, if part of it hurts, like these onions right now, you know that you're not in danger, like I'm not in danger right now. and you can know that you're safe anyway, and that this will pass, and that this is just part of the process. Like, it's hard to cut onions without crying. It's just part of it, but it's really not a big deal. And so the inconveniences happening, you're going to be able to just overlook them. So yeah, that's all I'm getting for now. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching.